Well, I got the Rix Storm back from Ben and put it on a different rifle, one with a 28-inch barrel, and was excited to try out Hornady's new V-Match 100 grain ammunition. I thought it would do great out of the 28-inch barrel, however it grouped terribly with a 5 MOA group. I did find out it grouped better from another barrel. I'm not going to be hunting with that other rifle this evening. I'm going to be sticking with the Shilen barrel and using some different ammunition. Stay tuned for more updates on the V-Match ammunition. In the meantime, Carpe Canis. I'm set up on top of a hillside overlooking several hundred acres. I've got this coyote coming in. I'm getting video with my Rix Storm S3. It's a 384 resolution thermal weapon sight. And it does a real good job for me. Now, there's been a lot of discussion online about just how far you can identify animals with a 384 resolution scope, in particular the new Rix scopes. And the coyote's gone behind a fence, and so I've lost the shot on this coyote. However, there in the distance, we have some deer out there at 405 yards. At least that's where the road itself is. There's the road. And so previously I've said that with this storm you could get shots on coyotes and hogs out to about 200 yards with no problem. But under the right circumstances, I'm up on a hillside, the deer are 400 yards away, 420 yards at this point. I can see them just fine. If I was a better shot and this was legal shooting hours, I could take a deer. So my 200-yard estimate was very conservative, but with the right conditions and the right shooter, you can go a lot further. And I will go a little bit further with these coyotes, and this is about the best that I can do with coyotes. Coyotes are my nemesis when it comes to hunting. I have better luck with smaller skunks than I do with larger coyotes. So I've got these coyotes out there. I'm getting video through my Rix Storm once again. And I'm not going to be shooting the V-Match ammunition. I'm going to be shooting Hornady SST 123 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory and Starline Brass. I've got coyotes with crossed heads at 225 yards. I missed with a twofer, dropping the first coyote, which is a large male. And a quick follow-up to the female. Connects nicely and she goes down almost immediately. So why did I shoot these coyotes? Well, the simple reason is the landowner wants them gone. The other reason is they were getting too close to the down-bedded calf that I hadn't seen move in the last 2 hours.
Calf is fine.
And while the calf wasn't getting up, the mother was checking on it from time to time, so I'm sure it's going to be just fine. And this is me getting video with my Rix Pocket K2 thermal scanner as I'm strutting out there to take a look at my coyotes. They turned out to be a lot further away than I expected. I was thinking they were probably 150 yards out. And while they were both shot at about 225 yards, they're down at 225 and 240 yards. And just a little bit further, and I'm there. 225 yards, looking at the first coyote, nice big male. So I've got this tiny scope on this big of a rifle, shooting at that distance.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
The coyote in the back is the larger male that I shot first, and the other coyote is the smaller female. And Carpe Mephitis, I've moved on to another property, the one where the landowner has a problem with skunks, and I've got a skunk out there at about 70 yards, and I've set up the Pocket K2 to get video, and I've now turned on the Storm S3 for shooting purposes, as you can see in the inset window. Now where I'm set up, the optics are at about the same height, about shoulder height, but the real difference is in the amount of resolution and the amount of native magnification. You can just see so much better with the Storm at this distance. And just like that, at 70 yards, skunk down. I don't know if it's a male or female. I don't get close to them after I shoot them. I spotted another skunk and I've switched the views. The inset window is going to be the Pocket K2. And I'm going to head out there about 20-25 yards. And unfortunately, I'm going to walk directly in front of the skunk that I wanted to have on video. And now I've decided I'm probably close enough to get a good shot on the skunk. I'm about 25 yards from the K2. And I spent a prolonged period of time here fiddle-farting around trying to figure out what I was doing. I knew I was missing something and it dawned on me. I had not activated the record feature. This was evident by the fact that I was not seeing the counter running at the edge of the screen, so I finally get that turned on. And this next skunk is out there at 65 yards. And at this point I decide that I don't like the reticle that I'm using. I don't like the color that I'm using with the reticle. And I probably want to change it. I'm just not getting sighted in as I would like. And this is what I like about the Storm. When you go into the menu system, the menu buttons show up on the screen and you can see what buttons I'm pressing to affect the changes on the screen. Alright, I've made a selection. I can see this very well through the scope. It doesn't show up as well on video, but it's beautiful through the scope. 65 yards. No more skunk. Now I'd hoped to continue by going after this next skunk that you see there in the distance, but unfortunately it had disappeared after I'd gotten photographs taken. So this one last skunk did it for my night. Carpe sus, my friends.